and another driver falls asleep on the road. And the ominous mood settles in, because if they fall asleep once, they could do it again. And he's still asleep. No turn signals. Welcome to the Honda Navi, part 6 of 6, the journey home from Balzac to Calgary. So back to the Honda Navi, the journey home. Heading south on Métis Trail in Calgary. And oh, that bump there. I actually stood up on the foot pegs a bit, because I know there's a couple of really nasty bumps here. And the seat came up, hit me in the butt, and my back was hurting from that one. I wish that Calgary would get out and get these roads patched up pretty quick, because we're in spring and that means pothole season. So the Navi, I found, is such an enjoyable machine to run, mostly because it requires almost no maintenance other than get the valves tuned up on it every 2,500. It's so easy to do all the work yourself, like I have mentioned before. The performance on it is very good. For a little machine to run around the city, it gets up to speed, and the highways will be a bit of a challenge though. Some people have managed to get them up over 80 kilometers an hour, but that's running that little motor, that little sewing machine motor, really hard. So not a good idea to do it for any great length of time, but to get out of Calgary, even on some of the back roads, sometimes the speed limit is 100 kilometers an hour, and that's on narrow 2-lane road with no shoulder. So I'm working out the different routes that I can take around Calgary, and this summer I'd like to take the Navi over to Standard, Alberta, because they have a really nice campground over there. It's usually very quiet and it's out in the country, so you can listen to the crickets out there. Anyways, a lot of people have done videos on the Honda Navi, but the one overwhelming thing that seems to come out is how much fun they are, how easy they are to modify, and you can even replace the stock speedometer with a digital one with LEDs, but I'm concerned that it might not show up very well in the daytime. You know, those little color displays that you see on phones and stuff, they just don't work very good during the daytime when the sun's out, and the stock speedometer is just fine for daylight. However, at night I wish there was a little better lighting on it, because all the numbers blur together and you can't see what speed you're doing. So here I'm turning down 128th Avenue. I'm going down the back way to Country Hills Boulevard. I like going down here because the speed limit is only 60 kilometers an hour, and there's a few places I can pull out and stop if I feel like it. There's also a little pond down here and a little recreational pathway around it, which I usually head down on my electric bike. Nice place to go stop for a ride. So as we get more used to riding the Honda Navi and finding new routes, I'll update you on them. I think I could probably, the only way I can get downtown to the south end of the city is to go through downtown core, keeping on the slower roads, which is not a particularly good way for me to go, because both Stony Trail, the ring road, and Deerfoot go down to the south end, and down there is the shop where I bought the motorbike. So I'm trying to figure out, is there a way for me to get down there on these back roads? And there are maps online for speed limits on Calgary roads, and so I'm exploring that, learning some new routes. Generally I can go east on Country Hills, turn right on Shaganappi, which is still 60 kilometers an hour, all the way up to the end of it, where I then run into some of these very fast back roads that are 100 kilometers an hour, which is crazy, because there are some pretty nasty hills out there, and there's no way even a 125 can do that speed going up some of these hills. So, but it's a beautiful day, and just getting out on the Navi, forgetting everything, just focusing on the moment. It's a good break from the day, and it fills up my time on the retirement side of things. This is, now we're turning here, we're gonna go on down. On the right hand side here, there is a little pond and pathway around there, around the pond. Nice little area to stop and pull out a lawn chair and watch the birds. And this is it right here. People are down there today walking, and it's a good place to take a dog down and let them run around far away enough from traffic that you don't have to worry too much about it. Well, the ride is almost over. It's coming to an end. And at the end of this video, I'm going to discuss again the economics of owning a Honda Navi. The main thing I learned recently was how to set the valve clearances, which I did on the Honda Navi at 600 kilometers because I wanted to make sure I could do it properly, and the Honda Navi has just been running great since then, just as good as it was before, so I probably didn't need the tune-up done right then. Changed the oil. Haven't done the oil screen on it because the owner's manual says it only needs to be done at 2,500 miles, so 4,000 kilometers. And every 4,000 kilometers is pretty much a typical period of maintenance for many motorcycles. It's just that there's a lot less of it to worry about. You don't have hydraulic brakes. The stock brakes work perfect. They'll stop you quickly enough. You don't need fuel injection because, quite frankly, you're not going to get much of an improvement on that small of a motor. And the carburetors are much easier to maintain. So everything is more user-friendly. We've kind of gotten away from motorcycles being something that you could maintain yourself to something that's a technological monstrosity that nobody can do anything with as far as maintenance except for a shop, and I believe that's going in the wrong direction. If people are able to do the maintenance themselves and save a lot of money, that sells more bikes. When dealerships and companies crack down on people being able to do the work themselves, pretty soon people find that they just can't afford spending hundreds of dollars an hour every year, at least once or twice, depending how far you ride it, to get the tune-ups done. And that really limits motorcycles. The main gripe I have about motorcycles is they're still using ancient technology for valves. You should be all hydraulic on them, but except for the bigger bikes, you're not likely to see it. Anyway, I've learned how to do the valves, so I'm all good with that, and I will be doing the maintenance myself and keeping you abreast on it, on what I'm doing, how much I'm learning about that, and how much nicer it is not to be inconvenienced having to sit around all day while a shop works on your bike before you can go and pick it up. And then you got the problem of how to get down there and how to get back, or maybe you'll spend the whole day down at the shop waiting for it to get done. Either way, the Honda Navi makes it much easier to do your own work and really get a feel for the ability of this machine to allow you to own and ride a motorcycle every day with minimal costs and excellent fuel mileage. So now I'm gonna head down here, towards the airport, and I will see you later. Enjoy my review, and upcoming is the spreadsheet of fuel mileage. So let's go to the spreadsheet and see what a running total for fuel mileage is like, because on a 3.5 liter fuel tank, not getting the tank to the same level of gas each time will greatly affect the average fuel mileage. So the yellow column is the running total of the miles per gallon over 12 fill-ups, and the top left, I spent $36.10 for fuel, 516.5 miles, 4.8 gallons, working out to 107.6 miles per gallon average, which is 38.18. kilometers per liter. And I think this is going to be a far more accurate representation of the actual mileage you can get with a Honda Navi. So I hope you enjoyed this series of 6 episodes of one trip I did going from Calgary to Balzac to Airdrie and back. Hope you enjoy it, and I hope this information really gives you a good idea of what the Navi is capable of. An example of fuel economy, 30.93 kilometers, cost me $1.35. With everything getting so crazy expensive these days, there's 2 ways to make ends meet. Work 3 jobs or get a Honda Navi.